This is Dr. John DeMartini. This is one of the most amazing and inspiring shows that you can listen into. If you want to be on the edge of your seats, if you want to open up your heart, if you want to expand your mind, and you want to meet incredible people, stay tuned because you're just about to experience a transformative radio show that will change your life. And you're listening to the Dr. Pat Show that's coming up right next.
Welcome to the Dr. Pat Show. Talk radio to thrive by. Powerful, inspiring, and coming to you live, bringing you stories of people like you and me, busting through and living life full out. Get ready to dare to wonder what your life would be like if you knew you could not fail.
Everybody, I want to welcome you. What a great show we have for you today. One of the things that I love about doing this show for so long is that you get to see the evolution of topics. You get to see the revolution of things that are happening to educate and inform us. And one of the most important conversations, it doesn't matter if you're mainstream or if you're like us, the new mainstream, or whatever you want to call yourself, alternative, the thing that seems to be coming up most is around the heart. Now, why is that? Well, I'm going to tell you, I'm not the one that's going to talk about it today, but there is a way that goes back so many thousands of years that you're going to hear about today. And the question mark always comes, especially for people like me that have been on a holistic healing journey. Why are we not talking about this more? Why are we not really opening up our doors, opening up our hearts so we understand literally how to transform? Not just things within our bodies, but the energies, the things you cannot see. Today, joining me here today is Living from the Heart. This is about a guide to heart rhythm, meditation, energizing your heart. You're going to hear about that. There are 4 dimensions. You're going to hear from 2 incredible people who are the founders of something so far ahead of its time that the good news is here we are today, and they're right on the spot to talk about. I'm talking about Puran and Susanna Bair. They're joining me here today. We're going to talk about both of the books, but we are going to talk about the heart because that's at the core of all this, isn't it?
Absolutely. The heart is the core, and in French, of course, the word for heart is corps.
I didn't even know that. See?
And it's the energy center of the body. It generates 99% of the magnetic energy field that surrounds the body.
So let's just back up for a minute because I want to get to where we are today. You both, you created a school. And the school is, for those of you out there, I Am Heart.
That's
and
right.
I want to talk about the school because this is part of what I want our audience to understand, that there are things we're talking about today which people can learn. Therefore, school and learn, right?
That's right.
And the benefit from this particular lesson is enormous. I want to ask each of you, when we're talking about a school, we're talking about education, we're talking about teaching people. I'm going to ask you each a different question, but I think, Puran, I want to start with you. I want to ask you the question about the journey of the school from where you sit and what brings you here today.
Well, I've been searching for what we found for 50 years. And I was an early meditator when I was a young man. But I found that meditation, although it was very useful, it didn't solve the problem of practical life until we discovered that you could meditate with the heart. Instead of going out of the body or transcendent or third eye or something like that, you can meditate on something internal that has a sound that you can focus on. There's a sensation there that you can direct your attention to, and that keeps you grounded. It keeps you inside. So you don't go spacing out and wondering about, you're focusing on something in yourself.
Yeah, I love this conversation because this really is going to bring us back to what I call this ecosystem of heart. I call it the ecosystem of heart pulse. Now, I'm not you, I'm not the expert, but this is me. I'm the street smart kid from the Bronx. But Susanna, I got to ask you this question because I saved the global question for you right here now. What I love about this, and myself being like Puran, meditation wasn't working for me. And, I tried a million ways, upside down and sideways, and I just could never get it right. But you see, I play a sport where you're driven to breathe. So there was something off for me from my natural instinct and what was working and what was not. So I want to ask you this question because your background, you're a pioneer, Susanna, you're a pioneer in culture and the culture of the heart. Culture is like my favorite word. You can tell I'm an organizational person, right? I'm a consultant on, back in the day. So I always love when we talk about culture because nobody understood a single word about what you're saying. But I want to ask you about this phrase, culture of the heart.
Well,
I love that phrase and I love the vision I get from it.
Well, in order to create a culture, Dr. Pat, what we have to do, we have to create a generation of people who never forget that in the womb of our mother, the first sound we hear is the sound of the mother's heartbeat. And it's our first sound that we create. And when we come out of the womb, we actually can hear and feel the heartbeat, and our whole body is breathing. Not just through the nose a little bit, the whole body is breathing. And we lose the connection to the heart when we start going into school. Children from 6 and older lose their connection to their heart. So in order to create a culture of the heart, we need to keep the connection to the heart. When you ask a 3-year-old, a 5-year-old, how is your mother or what does your father do? They will tell you exactly, like my dad makes money. They don't know what the father really does, but they know the essentials of the heart. And they speak directly from the heart. They are never disconnected. We learn the disconnection from the heart because we need in this culture to disconnect from emotions. And that is one of the core values in the culture of the heart, that the heart has an inherent intuition, an inherent notion. The heart likes to be light and likes to make life easy for all. And the heart connects us all because everybody has a heartbeat and everybody has a breath. And when we connect those two internal oscillators, our hearts align with each other and we are connected and one can speak for the all. That is the incredible thing about the heart.
Yeah, I love this. I want to ask you, I want to go back to you, Puran. I want to talk to you about today we're blending ancient wisdom. We're talking about modern times. And I'm going to tell you that for me, the game changer was the pandemic in a lot of ways. Yes, of course, we all went through what we went through. And by the way, COVID's alive and well. But that's not my question. You see, what I think we went through was an elevation of the importance of the breath. Mm-hmm. Now, I don't want to give COVID any credit for that, but that's not what I'm talking about. What I'm trying to say is people learned more about breathing and breathing techniques in massive numbers than ever before. So here's what I want to ask each of you, and I ask you both the same question. You're bringing today decades of work, 2 beautifully amazing written bodies of work, your books. And I want to ask you, fast forward to everything you've done and where you are today, and what got in, Puran, your heart to bring you forward to come out here now and speak these words?
I just think, like Susanna does, that it's so important that we make a change in our society, in our culture. We're desperate for this change. We can't go on like this anymore.
Yes. And Pat, when we speak, we always use the breath. And what was very interesting about the pandemic, most of us were wearing masks.
Yes.
And all of a sudden we felt we have to hold the breath in. Yeah. We are not invited to exhale and to inhale freely. We had to become afraid of each other's breath. And that is what is a very, very intimidating experience for our heart. Because without the breath, the heart becomes dysfunctional. These are the 2 oscillators of life itself in this world, on this plane of existence, if you stop breathing, your heart stops beating. So this is like such an incredible intrusion on the life force itself. That's what this pandemic was about. And a lot of people left the planet. They just left. And it's a skill to not hold on to this fear, to not hold on to all these doubts, and to not, to become free again and say, what I need is a deep, full breath, connect with my heart and connect with my emotion, and start learning having courage again and look for freedom and not be afraid of anything or anybody.
I agree.
In this world.
I agree. I couldn't agree 1,000,000%. I was having a conversation with somebody, and they were telling me they get, sneak peeks of the mail, what they're going to get in their mailbox, right? So I had a conversation with them this morning, and they were like, the IRS sent me a letter. I said, okay. But we went from hawk and scale, right? You look power versus force, and you could see the energetic shift in somebody that's basically kind of easygoing, being like Darth Vader just is showing up in my mailbox. And what you said is so powerful. I want to get back to how we play that out by defining for people what heart rhythm is, and then combine that with meditation, because this is what you brought to the forefront. In one of your books, you brought this forward and made it very clear. In the other book, what you're giving us is a solution that we can energize in any moment of any day. We can energize. And I think it's super important to have each of you talk about that, because so easy, right? And yet so hard.
Yeah.
The poor brain gets a bad rap these days. Everybody wants to get into the heart, which is
just going on.
Which is good, but
that's okay. That's just your heart calling. That doesn't matter. Are you kidding?
Keep going, Puran.
We've had dog barks on the show, cats knock over monitors, so this is cool. But what you understand what I'm talking about? We don't even understand heart rhythm. There's a device that came out that made massive amounts of people aware of their heart rhythm. It's a little electronic device that measures, you put your little fingers on it and you get some electron. I mean, that cardio device made more people aware about heart rhythm. And to this day, when you ask somebody, do you know what your heart rhythm is and what that means? And they're like, no. I don't know. I just do it.
Well, actually, we offer such a device for free.
I was going to ask you to talk to that. Yeah. Please.
The device is it's an app. It's called Breath and Heart. It's for either kind of iPhone.
Where do you get it?
You go to the App Store or the Play Store, and it's free, and it actually shows you your heart rate variability.
Yeah,
heart rate variability has become an important term. It's probably the most important biometric measurement. And our app, I think, is the only one that offers a graph of this for free.
Wow!
But it's important to us because that's the basis of our meditation. We meditate with the heart. We actually are trying to feel the heartbeat as we meditate, and coordinate the breath to the heartbeat. Like breathe in 8 heartbeats, breathe out 8 heartbeats.
Yeah. I love this. Susanna, go ahead. You all are like me. I'm taking 22 years, relaunch of the network, but I'm not launching it without a technology. And I don't mean just our database technology. I'm talking about a technology so that people can get in touch with the level of resources available. What you're doing is you've created thousands of years, plus your books, plus a lifetime, plus I Am Heart, all of that. And you said, wait a minute, you don't have to be in the mystery of what's going on. Susanna, right?
That's right, Pat. Our goal is similar like the goal of the Egyptians. In Egypt, when you died, all your organs were taken out of your body except the heart. And the reason the heart stayed in, because the heart moved on a big scale, which God Ma'at was holding. And they put it on a scale in reference to a feather. And when the heart was as light as a feather, the light moved on to eternal bliss. But when the heart was heavier than the feather, the heart was thrown to the crocodile. So that tells the story. So the goal in our school is really to make people's hearts light. And when our hearts are light, we are free from all the guilt and shame and poor consciousness and all our fears and doubts. We just really get free to live our purpose, or that what we are here for in this life. And that is what heart rhythm meditation is about. We learn about the breath to get self-control. Because when you can control your breath, you can control your mind, because you have to actually your mind has to pay attention on how you breathe. And thereby you get rid of all the mind clouds. There's all this kind of belief system in our mind. The mind has to pay attention what happens in our bodies. And when you pay attention to that, what comes forward is the sound of the heart, the lub-dub. And when you listen to that for some time, first of all, you can heal a lot of the heart diseases. Because as long as you do exercise and really work out, you work your breath, but you don't pay attention to your emotions. Yeah. And the heart actually starts speaking to you if you give it attention and energy. The energy comes through the breath, and the attention comes through your mind. And then you pay attention what goes on. And through the breath, if you give that what your emotional body gives out as all the difficulties and all the distractions, if you give this energy through the breath, it starts healing. The heart heals all its own wounds if you give them attention and energy.
Yeah.
It takes time.
It does, but in the world of psychology that I hang out in a little bit, especially around violence and nonviolence, you could see the difference between a breakout of violence and nonviolence by how tightly someone is holding their breath in any given moment before an episode. Let's just call it an episode. You can see it. You can feel it. Everything's tight. The lips are tight. Nobody's breathing until somebody does. And, I think this is seriously important as we look at things like how we react physically in the world. So I want to ask you both a couple things. The second book that you put out, and before I even ask the question, I want to make sure people know how they find out more about you. What is the best website for them to go to?
It's iamheart.org.
Perfect.
And then if you put a /gift on there, you'll see a lot of free things that we have to offer.
Put it on again.
Yeah, you are doing a lot of free things. But, that's really what we're talking about, because we're in a crisis. We really are. We're in the numbers show it. Every study that comes out about stress. I'm not just saying it to say it. I'm a research-based person. So I will tell you the statistics, the numbers. By the way, 350 to 500,000 women have left the workforce so far this year. Hello. So think about holding your breath right there. Okay. But I want to ask you about the second part, which is important, how to use the energy of the heart's potential for just about anything.
Right.
Ron, you want to go first on that? Go ahead.
Somebody has an emergency.
It turns out that the heart generates this huge magnetic field, and it can be shaped. It can be directed in a direction. So you can send your energy to another person, and that's incredibly helpful because it's not just energy; it's a rhythm. See, your heart has this rhythm, and as you pointed out about the holding your breath, another way to indicate when a person's in trouble or they're angry or something is the rhythm of their heart changes. Wow. It isn't just faster or slower. There's a rhythm within the speed. It's called the variability of the beats. And so you can see in the heart rhythm exactly what emotion they're having inside. And people are broadcasting that through the magnetic field that their heart creates into the space and into other people's hearts. So if you calm down yourself, you produce a great benefit to everybody around.
Yeah. The energy of the body and especially of the heart is so vast that if I sit here in Tucson, Arizona, I can reach anybody in Taiwan or in South Africa or on the North Pole. I can reach them by sitting still, silently, and listening to my heart. And I can focus on you, Pat, very directly. And if I focus my energy on you and you are aware of that, you can start feeling that energy. And we have clients all over the world. And when we start doing our meditation classes or teach meditation, just like I talk to you here now, in these instructions, we become one body, one energetic body. And that is an experience that is really far out. We have done experiences with this, how to affect violent crime. And we did this, what we call the Cleveland Project. And when we did the Cleveland Project, we focused two people, Puran and I, every morning at 3 o'clock in the morning. It was 6 o'clock in Cleveland. And we chose Cleveland. This is now about 10, 12 years ago. They had all their crimes, misdemeanors and really heavy-duty crime on a chart. So we could really see if we had an effect on these crime rates. And what we saw, and Puran knows those numbers by heart, what effect we had on crime. We did this project for about 3 months, and we did randomized events. We had another person call us, today you meditate, so that we didn't have the overlapping effect of our mind happening. So what were the numbers, Puran?
34% reduction in violent crime for two people meditating 2,000 miles away. And so it's the heart, you see. If you don't use the heart, you don't have the power. Yeah. It isn't just a mind trip. It's something it's the energy of the heart.
Yeah. And it's very hard to get those rates. See, we have a group in Bakersfield who tried to do those, repeat that project, and the rates just disappeared. They don't show it, so you don't have feedback about it. Because, people who meditate, we have the feeling we really have a strong effect on the whole. But then there is too something where you ask yourself, who is really running this universe? Is it we? Do you see what I mean? There are these sweethearts. We are these sweethearts. We think the world should go the way how we think it would be good for everybody.
That's right.
And that is somehow... Well, I'm glad you're laughing, Pat.
I'm laughing because we do believe that. I mean, two people in the same room. I had this experience yesterday. Two people in the same room, and they're arguing. You're watching a debate over which one's going to be right. It's like Rumi said, beyond the field of right doing, wrong doing, right doing, beyond that field. And you see, you can't get beyond that field if we are not really looking at what you all are talking about today, the breath. Athletes, top athletes, the Michael Jordans, their breaths. Do you know how few breaths these people take? But somehow, your mission is to let the rest of the world know. And I know we're coming up on time, so I want to ask each of you this question. What is the message you want to leave us with today? And especially about how people can sign up for a class. Let's see if we can reach out to people and have them take a look at something that's so massively important. Puran, what's a message from you? And then Susanna, we'll go to you.
You can have a greater effect on the world than the world has on you if you use your heart. Then you won't have fear. You'll have confidence. Instead of being a victim, you'll be the captain of the ship. But you have to use your heart.
Well, my message, Pat, is I am part of all things and all things are part of me. And that is sort of such a, life-giving energy, because I'm not looking for right and wrong. I'm not looking for good and bad. I'm thinking more like when something bad happens, my heart reaches out and I feel it and I want to have compassion and empathy. And when great things happen, I want to have everybody be part in those great things so that the whole can be lifted, that the whole can be energized. So we teach this, we have in our school free sessions every day where there's a live teacher on it in different times of the day, throughout the week. We have a free app and we have a course starting on October 18th, where you learn the essentials of heart rhythm meditation for a very small price, 8 weeks. In January, we start a 2-year program of where you learn more about the emotions and how to deal with the emotions. It's the I am you, call it. See, when we work with the heart, we realize that I am like you. That is a very, very important message.
Yeah. Yeah.
It does not matter which language you speak, which color you are, which political belief system you have. I am like you.
Yeah.
And that is what the world needs today. None of all these differences and divisions, because there is only one. Only one being.
Yeah, and we're more alike than we are different when it boils right down to
That's
it.
Right.
And especially when we're talking about this, we have seen thousands of people pray through the breath.
Yes.
Yeah, but most people don't recognize that's what they're doing, right? I don't know what they think they're doing, but they do. They pray through the breath. And we've seen this over and over again. But I want to ask you this. Please tell us the website, but how do we get the app? Let folks know, can we get it through your site or how do we do that?
No, you go to the app store of your phone.
Okay.
For Android, just called the Play Station, I think. And anyway,
what's the app called?
The app is called Breath and Heart.
Perfect.
And it has hundreds of free meditations in the app that you can play, and it'll teach you about your heart.
Perfect. Thank you both. Again, the website, iamheart.org.
iamheart.org.
Perfect. Thank you both for joining me here today. Thank you for stepping up and addressing something that's so super powerful in the world, and yet it's so available to us. Thank you both for doing what you do. Just keep doing it.
Pat, you're a real revolutionary woman. I love you.
I'll tell you, I'm like you. I'm fired up. Okay, funny story. I don't have time to tell, but I'm going to give you the short version. During COVID, I bought this machine and I thought it was elliptical. It's not. It was a pre-core that's very hard to do. It was more like a stepper. And I learned on that machine, because it's not like the others, the power of the breath. You can't do 14 minutes is the recommendation on that machine, because you must use your breath. And I found that fascinating. Halfway through 7 minutes, at one session, I couldn't remember where I was. It's just saying, I don't know, about 14 minutes. Thank you both for joining me here today. Thank you all. We'll see you next time.